Hey everyone, my name is Mr. Kev. I'm an indie artist based out of Chennai and you're watching Kevlogs. Disclaimer, before we start with this video, it is my duty to let you know that I will be mentioning about sexual abuse and harassment in this video. If you're someone who might get triggered due to the topic or the conversation about such topics, this video might be difficult to sit through, so kindly take the necessary precautions. I've made a lot of videos over the years that I've been active on YouTube, and this isn't the first time that I'm talking about if we should separate the art from the artist.
The art and the artist, do they have to be considered two separate entities?
You can watch that video for context. I'll put it up on the iCard for you guys right over here. You can watch that and come back and then sit and watch this particular video. Before I start with this conversation, my intention in this video is to put forth a question to all of you people watching. It is to address the uncomfortable elephant in the room. My efforts here would be to present the situation as it is without letting my bias get in the way. I might not get into the details of the allegations, but I shall provide the link to the articles so that you may do your own research about this. Kindly be a little patient and watch the whole video before you draw your conclusions. And I hope that more artists actually step out of their comfort zone to speak up about something like this. I'm trying to be as articulate as possible, and I don't consider myself well versed or learned enough to address this situation, but I can't be the bystander either to let this pass. I'm gonna speak about this no matter how difficult it's going to get. The indie scene is a very niche scene at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you watching don't even know the artists that I mention over here. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you who know these artists don't even know about such incidents. I myself had to go through a few articles. It's in a local language. It's a very small group. It's this box. On the surface level, I didn't understand what the issue was, because there was a lot of statements, but I couldn't correlate into something that I could make sense. But of course, when you do your own research, you get to understand more. Let's start with the first such incident or the news that I came across, and this is the allegations against Vaden the rapper. Vaden is an indie artist based out of Kerala. He is known to predominantly write songs in Malayalam. They're a bit of folk, there's a bit of rap. He has been considered one of the rising talents from the South indie scenes. Vaden has been accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women anonymously, and these allegations include forced penetration, forced sexual advances, and other inappropriate behavior. So how I get to learn about this particular thing is when I got into a clubhouse room where Chinmay Sripad was part of. Chinmay, of course, is an industry playback singer who has been tied to a project featuring Vaden the rapper, which as of now, that project has been cancelled. So I got to learn about this project and Vaden's inappropriate behavior during the clubhouse conversation, which Chinmay was a part of, and she was asked why she was willing to work with Vaden after all these allegations that came out. Chinmay, of course, was visibly confused, not having heard of this particular incident before, not knowing what it was about either. She didn't understand, so she had to clarify it. It took almost like 10 minutes for her to understand what was happening, what the questions were about, and what the incident was about. One of the moderators here jumped in to clarify and explain the whole situation, and as it turns out, these allegations have been out on Facebook posts. I had one of my friends help me with screenshots and translations about this whole particular incident, and even Vaden's post addressing these allegations. 2-3 days after this particular conversation on Clubhouse, we get to learn that this particular project, that's a collaboration of Vaden the rapper, Chinmay, and a few other artists like Arivu and someone else, has been cancelled. It stands cancelled, and it's going to be a little difficult to get you through to all these posts, but I'm going to try my best. I'll try to link them down below. But of course, there are a few articles now. But when these particular things came out, there were literally no articles put out there, or no kind of conversation around it either, other than the small group of people talking about it on Facebook. Maybe a few Instagram posts that I came across, but that's only because I went looking for them or searching for them. And something which was very similar that I got to learn about, which is something in the similar realm, has to do with Lifafa's collaborator Hashback Hashish, also known as Ashish Sachin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. And I have to thank Ashwin ji, also known as I Am Altrave, for bringing this to my attention. Hashback Hashish is an electronic artist based in Delhi. Hashback Hashish was accused of rape, physical and emotional abuse, and I've seen very few articles surrounding this online. Some of the original posts have been taken down or it's not available for us to view, but this is the situation. Coming back to Lifafa's involvement. Lifafa is an indie singer-songwriter based in Delhi, also popularly known as the frontman of Peter Cat Recording & Co. Lifafa put out a song in collaboration with Hashback Hashish named Mandir sometime back in December last year. The song did mention featuring Hashback Hashish, and kindly note this was post the allegations, to which Hashback Hashish is yet to respond to. Lifafa came out with a statement a week back, to which I shall drop a link below. You may go and check that post out for yourself. This came under a lot of scrutiny for the kind of language he used, the kind of stance Lifafa had taken, the reasoning that Lifafa had, etc. A few days later, Lifafa himself came out with another post mentioning that the song has been taken down, apologizing for his actions and statement. One of the comments in this post actually had me thinking. I'm paraphrasing it here, but bear with me. It was about how taking down the song or deplatforming the artist is the bare minimum we could do as fellow collaborating artists. And I also saw this other comment that mentions how difficult is it to basically replace Hashback Hashish's work and involve another indie artist to be the collaborator and strip off this person's name. It would ensure that people who have been part of the project get to see fruits of their hard work. I remember this particular Hollywood film where Kevin Spacey was a part of, where Kevin Spacey's entire role was taken off and somebody else came in place of Kevin Spacey to fill up that role.
Had you completely cut the film already?
Oh yeah, I was done. I was delivered.
The studio was just going to release the picture anyway?
No, I didn't wait for that to happen.
Scott decided to recast and reshoot mere weeks from its then December 22nd release. He asked veteran, venerable, oldest ever Oscar actor winner Christopher Plummer to replace Spacey.
I find merit in these statements, especially the one about bare minimum that someone like us artists can do. Something like an emotional abuse or a sexual assault results in traumatic experiences which is recurring. It turns up years and years, several years later. This might not even be physical. Like, some people have physical reactions, some people don't. Let's say I'm carrying a ceramic plate and I break the ceramic plate. The bare minimum I could do is sweep the broken shards and ensure that I throw them away or put them aside. Praising me for cleaning up does not change the fact that the ceramic plate is already broken. In this case, victims will experience trauma even after several years down the line. Doing the bare minimum still does not change the fact that these victims will still keep on experiencing their trauma years after the incident. What it does though is taking the first steps to understanding what we can do as artists in such a situation or such a scenario. I do understand that this video covers just these two particular instances, and there are several other such cases that I have not mentioned. You can go check out the articles that I've dropped down on the comment section. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this video is not a report or an analysis or a case study of these particular accusations or allegations, but rather to move the conversation forward and try to understand what we can do as artists in these situations. How can we move forward? We fucked up. We messed up. How do we move forward? What are the steps that we can take? I don't see many artists talking about it, and maybe given the space to engage in a conversation without any judgments passed, we could probably learn more, we could be better, eventually build a safer environment for people who enjoy music or any form of art to feel comfortable and be themselves when they come to watch us perform. Engage with us in person. Finally, I want to pass off this question on to you viewers, be it artists or otherwise. What are your thoughts on this matter? How do you think we can do better? How do you think we can address this situation better in public? I'll be reading all your comments. So do be kind, be patient, and remember that we are here for the same thing. It is for a better indie scene. This video is the bare minimum that I thought I could do as an artist, and I hope we keep the conversation rolling. Share this video with your friends. Ask them what their thoughts are. If this helps develop a conversation, I think we are progressing to a space which will eventually get better. That's about it, people. That's about it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.